President Trump said Friday he was not given advance notice of an FBI search of former National Security Advisor John Bolton's home, but criticized his former aide as a lowlife and suggested he could be very unpatriotic. He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. We're going to find out. I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid, Trump told reporters when asked about the search. The president said he expects the Justice Department to brief him on the situation later Friday. I tell Attorney General Pam Bondi and I tell the group, I don't want to know, but you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it, Trump said. It's not necessary. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's better this way. Federal agents were seen searching Bolton's home in Maryland on Friday morning. The FBI confirmed there were court-authorized law enforcement activity going on in the area. The search is reportedly related to the former National Security Advisor's handling of classified information. Bolton served under the first Trump administration for 17 months and has since become an outspoken critic of the president, particularly on matters of foreign policy. He published a book in 2020 called The Room Where It Happened, detailing his time in the White House. Upon return to office, Trump we covered this actually, pulled Bolton's security clearance and his Secret Service protection was revoked. I always have to make this clear because there are always people who just show up, who've never seen any of my stuff before. In terms of likability, even among the politicians that I'm not on the side of, that I don't agree with on most things, Bolton might be in like the bottom 5 political figures of the last 30 years in terms of how much I care for them or like them. He is this extremely warmonger, of course, a draft dodger warmonger. That's always my favorite combination. Wants to regime change in Iran. He's terrible. I from the glimpses I've heard of him in terms of domestic policy, he's also really not good either. And with that being said, I don't support raiding his house. We're not really being given a specific reason as to why there was even any kind of warrant for doing this. It's one of those things where it really, because I've tried to not really do the whole Trump is a dictator thing, but when you have a former member of your cabinet who, they've criticized you, they've talked trash about you, whatever, but when you have a former member of your cabinet that you had a falling out with, and their house is getting raided by your current people, I don't know, it's hard to not look at that and feel it has something to do with retaliation for their criticisms of you. Because I would say, of any of the people that used to work for Trump, Pence and Haley and all the rest of them, Bolton, to me, appears to be the one that's the most recurring. Like, I see him on these different cable networks, doing interviews with CNN and just kind of like going around being their former Trump person to criticize Trump primarily, which is why I said that I think there's a reason for people to look at this and say, there probably was a little bit of a desire to get back at him for either that book or what he's done since then. It's just hard to imagine that the DOJ was so scared of Bolton's handling of these classified documents that they had to raid his home in the morning and show up and I don't buy it. Hopefully we'll get a congressional investigation, even though the Democrats are known for doing nothing because we don't have a majority. So it's another one of those moves where it's just kind of sad to think about all the problems in the United States and the allocation of resources, right, with regard to the forces of as Trump calls himself, the chief law enforcement officer, is to go and dig up in the house of one of his former people that worked for him. I don't know. I think there are better. Those resources could be used for something more productive. But I guess vengeance and grievance is always top tier in his concerns.